Hey there, are you stressed right now? Us too. Let's talk about it and let's fix that. Stress itself is actually a very normal thing and it's usually just a sign for you to take a break. But if you're in the middle of exam season or a load of coursework deadlines, this is kind of tricky to do. So instead, what we're going to talk about is actual tips that you can use during these stressful times to prevent yourself from breaking down. If it does not matter in 5 years, then it does not matter. Obviously, in the bigger picture, big marks like your total university grade or your A-level marks do matter and are important to an extent. But firstly, more smaller marks like coursework, tests and homework really don't matter. I mean, even within a few months, you likely forget those marks. I mean, I know I did. Even if it was one that at the time I was really upset over. So there's no real point crying over spilt milk in this case and letting these small inconveniences get to you when in a few months you'll barely remember what happened. But also in this bigger picture, your overall GCSE grades and your A-level grades do matter in that stage of your life, but will they really have that much of an impact on you 5 years from now? I know for me, I was so stressed over the IB, and of course it was really important at that point. But even now, I'm not even 5 years removed, and I don't remember any grades I got for any individual piece of work. Even my overall mark doesn't really affect how I am now. It just influences you getting into university and then that's it. So of course it is important to take these things seriously, but if the stress gets to a point where it is debilitating, you can't relax, you can't sleep, you're feeling so physically unwell from this stress, then it is important just to put things into perspective for a bit. Remind yourself, hey, in a few years this will not matter, let's calm down a little bit. Each day is only 24 hours. This is definitely not some sort of inspirational quote, I think I just came up with this, but this is something that did wonders for my mental health when I was super stressed about how much work I had in a short space of time. So if you are in exam season or if you just have a load of coursework deadlines all within the same period, because everyone loves to do that for some reason, it's very reassuring just to remind yourself that time does fly. It can seem so daunting when you have so much work ahead of you in a small space of time, in weeks or months. You don't know how you're going to get it all done and how you're going to survive those weeks. So just to remind yourself that day will come can help just settle your nerves a little bit. Remind yourself there are only 24 hours a day. This day will pass, as will the next, and before you know it, all your deadlines will have passed and that weight will be lifted off your shoulders. This can be really motivating as well and push you to keep your head above water until all those deadlines pass. If you can't do anything about it, then don't worry about it. A lot of the time we find ourselves stressing over things we literally just have no power over, be it a lazy group teammate, a difficult essay topic, or just a bad mark. If there's literally nothing you can do, then these negative feelings have no benefit for you. All you're doing is making yourself feel worse, when really you should just be working around how to deal with this issue and move on. I'm a huge advocate for allowing yourself to feel your emotions in the moment, and I'm not saying anything against this. But you don't want to let these emotions consume you, especially, as I said, when they have no real benefit. In this case, they're just making you feel down and stopping you from doing the rest of your work. Sometimes you just got to give a quick, it is what it is, and move on. And of course, I understand this is very much easier said than done, like most advice, but if you force yourself to give yourself this quote every time something like this happens, then I promise you over time, your natural reaction to problems will start to reflect this. Instead of thinking, oh, this sucks, how could this happen to me? Instead, start thinking, oh well, we move, and okay, how can I work around this issue? I gotta put me first. No surprise, I've got to make a point about taking breaks and taking care of yourself. At the end of the day, your mental and your physical health should always take priority over grades. But also, this self-care will have a positive effect on your grades anyway, so it's really in your best interest to do this. I recently made a video on burnout and how not taking care of yourself and constantly stressing about the future is always going to end in you breaking down and then not being able to complete future work. So it's really important to break this negative cycle by taking breaks every single day. Now, if you're like me, you work better in the day, then just always leave out the evening to do what you want to do. Or if you're more of a night owl when it comes to doing work, then spend the morning just relaxing and taking time for yourself. This has really changed my life. It doesn't allow uni work to consume my whole life, but I still feel productive and happy at the end of the day. This is just a really easy way to get a balance. Instead of just giving yourself a break after a huge chunk of work, force yourself to take that break every single day. And you'll find that in the time that you are being productive, you're actually getting more work done because you're well rested. And finally, we are all in this together. Something that I felt really helped calm my nerves a lot was to connect with classmates about work and about stress. The fact is, basically everyone is stressed and everyone would love to rant about it. So it can help literally just to know that other people are in the same boat as you and other people are just as stressed or confused about a piece of work. But also it can really help to share advice and thoughts about something, because everyone can bring something new to the table, and sometimes your stress is more of a practical response to you just genuinely not knowing how to do something. You're not stressed about the workload, you're stressed about the work content itself. So for example, for me, during a piece of statistics coursework, I was so stressed because I just genuinely did not know how to go about doing it, because statistics is not my thing. In this case, saying it is what it is doesn't really help me. But what did help me was reaching out to a classmate, not only to have my stress validated, but also to get advice from her that, oh my god, did wonders for me then getting my work done. So please don't be stressed to reach out, even if it's to someone you don't really speak to that much. If you do a little role reversal, I'm sure you'd probably be more than happy for someone to tell you how stressed they are and for you to chat about it. So don't be afraid reaching out. Everyone can benefit from sharing the workload that is academic stress. And that is all we have to say on this. Certainly different points that I made are better for different types of stress. Sometimes it isn't helpful to just tell yourself to roll with the punches if you just don't even understand how to do that. And maybe it's more beneficial to reach out for help. But that being said, I hope any sort of point I made today does help you out with dealing with your stress. I know we're all starting to roll into exam season, so it's really important to take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting work done to your highest quality, but also not stressing too much if you don't quite reach that. It's never that deep. Make sure you're taking care of yourself first. You are more important than marks on a paper. But thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week, and happy studying.